In Washington, D.C., in the House of Representatives, there are 257 who are Democrat. Only 177 are Republican. In the Senate, there are 67 Democrats. Only 33 are Republican. The party that you backed controls 2/3 of the House of Representatives and the Senate, and still they can't keep their promise to you because you're a chump. Anytime you throw your weight behind a political party that controls 2/3 of the government, and that party can't keep the promise that it made to you during election time, and you're dumb enough to walk around continuing to identify yourself with that party, you're not only a chump, but you're a traitor to your race. Who said that? Who said that? Malcolm X said that. Malcolm X said that in probably the most famous speech that I can think of that he's ever made. And it was very clear that he was frustrated, that he was advocating for a level of political maturity for black folks who at that time, just very a mirror image of today, easily manipulated by media, by people who look like us, who say they're for us, but all of their steps say they're all for self. It's not even about being for white people, it's about just wanting to attain for themselves. And you watch how people move. So in 1964, when this speech was made, Malcolm X told black folks to their face that they were fucking up. They were throwing their votes to a party that didn't give a fuck about them. In 1964. That was almost 60 years ago. It baffles me how people quote Malcolm X to the death and still advocate for a party that has proven time and time again that it does not give a fuck about you. Now let's be clear. I'm not advocating for you to become a Republican, a right-winger, a conservative, or anything of that nature. But a shift must occur. Because living like this isn't working. Throwing a block of votes behind a party that has shown in action that it will give you symbolism and no substance will not fight for your vote because they have become accustomed to just getting it, will show up and give you a concert but won't talk policy. You gotta start asking some questions, folks. I'm not a Democrat. I can challenge Democrats, but they don't want to hear what I have to say. Why? Because I am not the black voice they want around them. They don't want my black ass sitting there asking questions, challenging their terrible policies that have time and time again fucked us up. But no, I'm the crazy one. I'm a conspiracy theorist. I'm bootlicking, tap dancing for the white man, Uncle Tom Sambo, all the bullshit that y'all say. And let me be clear, I'm at the I'm at the end of the road with this. I don't know how much longer I can scream from the mountaintop. But 1964, Malcolm X said this in the Ballad of the Bullet speech. And if you've never listened to the whole speech, it's almost an hour long. I've listened to the speech maybe 5 times in my life from top to bottom. And it's just so much knowledge and perception and depth and advice and just raw truth in that speech. Black nationalism, which means one thing today but meant something totally different at that time. Advocating for black people to understand what community is and how to build a community. Because right now, we don't have a black community. Look up the word community. We're not that template for that. And it's maddening because he didn't say it in this speech, but he said it in other speeches. They're gonna put people who look like us in front of us to talk that shit, make us feel good, make them believe that they're for us. And then they go off and it's all for self. It's all for their glory. Colin Kaepernick, anyone? Al Sharpton, anyone? Jamel Hill, anyone? AOC, anyone? Leaders of Black Lives Matter, anyone? I can go on and on and on with this. But you get what I'm talking about. This is not about caring for the people, wanting the communities to do better and be better. Martin Luther King's dream was realized. It actually was realized. And then from that realization of his dream, there was a regression. And I have to look into just a little bit more before I talk on that, what all of the steps of that regression. I'm sorry if you hear birds. These birds are out here tearing it up this morning. I don't know what is out there that they're loving, but if it's in the background, apologies. But anyway, this is where we are now, and the fact that we are still, this speech was 1964. I cannot say that enough. And we are still harping on the same damn issues. When do we take accountability and control of our neighborhoods? When do we stop backing a political party that clearly does not give a shit about us? Again, not saying be a Republican, not saying be a conservative, anything. You can be an independent, you can be a libertarian, you can not vote. But the point is, you're not making these fucking Democrats earn your vote. I don't give a fuck if the Democrat is black, white, Hispanic, I don't give a fuck what they are. But they're not earning your vote. Talking good shit to me and then backing that up with good shit is how you keep me. But you don't talk good shit to me and then produce nothing on the back end and think that I'ma somehow be like, yeah, I'ma advocate for this person. I don't give a fuck. I will give a person like politics, 2 times. Because I understand you just get in the door, you gotta figure some shit out, you gotta figure your way, you gotta find your voice. I get that. You might get my re-election vote. But that second time, there better be something on the table. I better see your ass on the floor of Congress trying to get your bills pushed through. Combating the filibuster, all of that. But when I see AOC is a prime example of this. Her lifestyle has gotten better. She's at the Met Gala. She lives in a high-rise apartment. She's wearing designer clothes. The makeup is great. The hair is on point. And yet and still, she's advocating for socialist policies but moving like a capitalist. Y'all make that make sense to me, please. Make it make sense. This is what Malcolm X warned us about. And the fact that y'all can't digest that shit because it's coming from me. You know, I don't have the influence, I don't have the, the barometer of the culture in y'all eyes. But I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I don't do conspiracy theories. I don't do saying salacious shit just to say it. This is a call to action. This is a call to you to actually step the fuck up and do something. Because sitting back waiting for the government to fix your problems is never going to happen. You have almost 60 years of receipts. How many more years do you need? How many more generations do we have to lose before we realize that this ain't it? The way we have descended into this cesspool of infighting about dumb shit over things, problems, and concerns that don't move the needle forward. The way I've been kicked just for having a difference of opinion that I can clearly articulate and back up with facts and evidence because you don't like the messenger. Well, guess the fuck what? I'm never going to shut up. And so if you come to me, I don't do name calling. I do results. So if you're coming to me, we can be different. We can have different approaches to things, all of that. But if you about getting this, moving this needle forward, I'm all in with you. I don't care about your politics. But if you can't back up what the fuck you're doing, I have no interest in what you're saying. Period. That's on God. But if you are a person who's about moving the needle forward, substance, and it shows in your action steps, I'm all in with you. Colin Kaepernick, there was no call to action. I said this in a previous video. Al Sharpton, there's never been a call to action. Your lifestyle has gotten better. Everything's gotten better. I've said this already in another video. I'm not going to say it again, but I said it. And when you keep putting these people, either in politics or whether just community leadership in general, you keep putting these fake ass people in front of the world to advocate for your black ass, and they're not doing that. They're advocating for their bottom line. That's it. It has nothing to do with the community getting better, improving, because if you can explain to me how, since Al Sharpton has been a community leader, why he only shows the fuck up in cherry-picked situations, and then it's always this super hyper. If, for example, with Al Sharpton, since we're on this, now that I'm so glad this came to my mind, that March on Washington he did last year, was there a call to action during that? When he spoke, when he invited all these celebrities, because all of this is money. Al Sharpton don't stand up and speak unless he's getting paid well. He flies private. So what happened to climate change? We all about climate change, but we flying private, but that's another situation. So was there a call to action on this March on Washington? I've seen nothing been put into place. I've seen no legislation being introduced. I've seen no black people rise up in the ranks and say, hey, I'm taking a position of leadership on a national level. I'm sure there are people who are doing things on community levels, but I'm talking about the national voices. Maxine Waters talking about she mad as hell at what's happening, you know, with the Haitians at the border, and that she's been a friend and an ally of Haitians for 50 years or some shit like that. And bitch, you gonna be my friend for 50 years and I have no fruit? That's not something you should be saying, Miss Waters. It's no shade. You have no fruit to back it up. If I say, hey, I've been helping Group X for 50 years, you best believe I'm gonna have some receipts to back that up. You're not a friend to Haitian people. You're not a friend. You may not be an enemy, but you're damn sure not a friend. And let's put that on the table. So be vigilant. Make people earn your vote. Make people earn your support. Don't let people go up there and just chuck and jive and talk that good shit for you, and that makes you feel good. Sure, a lot of shit can make me feel good, but is it substantive? Is it smart? Does this work in the greater scale of my life? Those are the questions that I have. And I know I'm being long-winded right now, but this is just something I'm very passionate about. I'm very results-oriented. So when I hear that Malcolm X, who I've probably read every book, probably heard every speech, probably read every transcript, when every time I listen to this speech, I just get something new out of it every single time. And actually this part of the speech, I choreographed a piece to it. I wish I could find the footage, but I can't find it. But I choreographed a piece to it, under it was Jimi Hendrix's version of the national anthem. And I just remember that was my awakening at like 14 years old, that this is not the move. Because if you're telling me that voting for these people, these are the homies, and the homies got me living like this, I'm good. I'm gonna go figure some shit out. But I've always been that way. Anyway, I'm not gonna keep talking y'all ears off. But thank you so much if you got through this video. Thank you so much. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, support a brother. We're a new channel. We on our come up right now, and I appreciate all the support, all the likes, all the sharing. And let's just keep this conversation going. All right. I'll catch y'all on the next one. I love y'all, respect y'all, appreciate it. Peace.